Lost my music tab. Damn it. Hold on. Oh my god. It scared me. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. Hold on. We're gonna get started here. I just need to get my tabs up. I lost my tabs on this page. That was smart. Okay, we're good. Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Sorry, Joseph. I'm playing music. So for you guys over on Twitch and YouTube, I play music on TikTok to get started. But unfortunately, you can't hear that. He lives in me. He watches over everything we see. Into the water, into the truth. In your reflection, he lives in you. So let's make sure we get started doing all of the good things, please. Let's tap that screen over here on TikTok. Do your daily heart me if you have not done so. Share the live out. Hi, Ryan. I don't, Nilburn. I actually don't. I only support candidates that I think are going to progress this country. Everything we see. Into the truth. In your reflection, he lives in you. Good morning, good afternoon to those of you on the East Coast. I appreciate you guys being here. Like I said, as we get started here on the Tickety Talk, if you guys could tap that screen, share the live out, do your daily heart me if you have not done so, I would appreciate it so very much. We have 8-5 in my goal today because thank you to Becca and to Layla for getting me down to 8-5 to get us started while we were hanging out in Olives. I appreciate you guys so much. So 8-5 is what we've got. If you would like to help with that goal, I would appreciate it. Thank you, Trademark. I don't like that he's getting kisses, but W Trademark, I think you just cleared out my gift gallery, so I appreciate it. But if you would like to help with the 8-5 goal, I have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all in the link tree in my bio. I would appreciate it so very much if you could help me. This is my job. This is how I pay my bills. Because you guys knocked out my goal yesterday, which I appreciated, I was able to pay my Excel bills. So I appreciate that so very much, that I don't have to worry about things like that because this is my job and you guys support me. So thank you. If you are over there on YouTube, guys, I am multi-streaming. If you could do the little thumbs up on the live, that would be awesome. You can also subscribe. You can join a membership over there. You can send super chats, fun stuff over there. And then also on Twitch, you can follow me, subscribe. There are bits, stickers, fun things over there. And we'll get started. Guys, I also have the little roses. Let's try to get those accomplished today too. Helps push us onto the algorithm to try to have conversations. Trump supporters. I do an outline every day, kind of a little news blurb kind of thing. But if you guys would like to have conversations based off of factually based evidence and not your feelings, I'm totally willing to do that. You can call the number on your screen, 509-795-0412, to have those conversations. But I'm going to ask you to source stuff, so don't sit here and go, well, everybody knows, or it's common sense, or you don't think. I don't want to hear it. Hi, work wife. Yes, we did unmute the others. I believe. Yes. Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
That was my lunch.
Yes, food good. So, today, which I'm starting to get clips of, we'll see if we get to it. If not, we'll definitely do it tomorrow. RFK is in front of Congress right now. It's not going well.
Wait, why is he in front of Congress?
They just ask them to come in every so often. It's just like an oversight thing. There's specific committees that oversee his department, and they're eating him up. But we're gonna watch a different kind of eating up. So I think he might be in front of the Senate today, but he was. Well, maybe not. Are they senators? No. Yes. Yeah, so no, I'm still just getting clips from yesterday. Russell Vogt, who is the OMB director, the Office of Management and Budget, he also wrote the piece on the OMB and its role in Project 2025. If you guys don't remember, Donald Trump didn't know anything about Project 2025, except he's appointed multiple people in this administration from Project 2025. Specifically, the big ones we know about are Russell Vogt with the OMB and Brendan Carr of the FCC. So we're going to watch him in front of Congress pretty much get ate up because of the things he doesn't answer, doesn't bring to the table. Very interesting. Again, appointed by Trump, this administration, I don't understand what you guys are seeing that you're supporting still. I just don't understand it. I think you're just in a cult. I think that's all you guys have left, to be honest. So this is... Boyle. He is going to talk to vote about the budget that they are proposing for 2027 and how it outlines more cuts, specifically more cuts to healthcare, as if the OBBBA didn't do enough in regards to cuts of healthcare. So, yes, Trump, JK, I don't know if you know this. Trump is the president. You are correct. And he still will be unless the Republicans decide to find their ballsack, pull it up, hold on to it, and actually impeach him for the fact that he's not doing anything beneficial for the American people. But it doesn't seem like you want to do that. But yes, he will still be the president. The thing is, our job as people, because he works for us and not the other way around, he works for us, our job is to hold him accountable and hold his administration accountable for the things they do or the things they don't do. Right? Okay. Cool. Let's go to an equal branch of the government that's supposed to be doing their job. This is Boyle talking to Russell Vogt about healthcare cuts. Actually, did I fix that? I don't know if I did. So let's do that. Okay, it's fixed now. There we go.
said that single piece of legislation adds more to our deficit and debt than any other piece of legislation passed by Congress in American history. In addition to the over $4 trillion it adds to our national debt,
I don't know if this is what Democrats do all day, JK. I'm not one. I'm not a Democrat. Try again.
Eliminates health care coverage for more than 15 million Americans, according to the CBO. The Kaiser Family Foundation says it's actually more than 17 million Americans who will lose their health care. Are they really all, according to you? Really? You're going to sit here with a straight face and say they're all illegals, they were all defrauding the system? That's actually your position?
Yes. With regard to the people that have lost that.
I mean, that's
all 15 million according to the CBO, which is the Congressional Budget Office, and all 17 million according to the KFF, who are going to be losing their health care because of his proposed budget, are all illegal, according to Russell Vogt? Let's hear him explain that, I guess.
that's laughable. I'm sorry, I'll give you a chance to respond.
You had a number of issues with regard to your comments there.
Wait, let me
Number one.
Sorry, well, reclaiming my time, I just want to be clear. I'm citing, we acknowledge, the CBO figure. That's where I'm getting the 15 million from, and the Kaiser Family Foundation says 17 million. You're saying none of them are legitimately on this, even though we had one of them actually testify before us at this committee.
I didn't say all of them are illegals. I said there's...
You literally just did. When he asked you, you actually said yes. But okay, you're going to change your answer. Go ahead.
There's also the benefit of people returning to the workforce because they're able-bodied individuals, or they should not have been on the system regardless because of the inability to address fraud in the aftermath of...
Okay, so they're all...
Prove that. Prove that it is because people went to work. Because what we've seen is that the unemployment percentage has gone up. Not in a significant way, but it's gone up. So no, people are not returning to work. People are losing work because of AI. We have seen companies that are laying off because of AI. We have seen companies laying off in the oil industry, in the car industry. So the percentage, again, unemployment is going up. So no, where is your proof that the people removed from healthcare is because of them going back to work? He's just saying shit.
Either illegals or defrauding the system.
Well, that's certainly not a provocative statement that we have fraud all over the country, is it, Mr. Ranking Member?
Why are, I imagine there are fraud in all sorts of private and public sector areas, but the idea that 15 million Americans are about to lose their health care, the single biggest loss of health care in American history, mind you, not even during the Great Depression, did 15 million Americans lose their health care coverage.
Mark, he's the fucking president. Thank you, Casey. He's the president. He doesn't live He doesn't, I can hear myself again. He doesn't live rent-free in my mind. He's the president. And he's a very, as Blue always says, he's one of the most available presidents we've ever had. Most of the time you don't see them that often except for very scheduled press events. He is talking all the time, whether he's on Truth Social, whether he's doing press pool shit, he is talking all the time. So yeah, I'm going to cover him. We're not even, like, this is a congressional hearing with Russell Vogt. It's not my fault you glaze his taint. Maybe actually try critiquing him. Can you do that? He doesn't know who you are either. For all of your support of him, he doesn't know who the fuck you are. That's almost worse. I don't like him, so him not knowing who I am means not shit to me. You love him, and he doesn't know who the fuck you are, wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. We'll keep playing this video, but thank you. W's to Valid Orchid. I appreciate you so much for the $15 on the PayPal. Thank you so much. It says, thank you for the stream. I appreciate you and your support. Thank you, Valid Orchid. So W's. Thank you. I'll do the math while I'm over here.
The idea that all of those people who are about to lose their health care are defrauding the system or are illegal immigrants, that is not supported by any facts whatsoever.
Are now working and getting the benefit of a job with employer-sponsored health care coverage. Look, these assessments by CBO and others are often very...
No, Kamala Harris didn't know who I was either, but I wouldn't say that I love her, and I wouldn't defend her to the death. I just defend on facts. That's something you guys have a problem with.
Static.
Well,
It's one of the
I
reasons.
mean, it's right of center groups as well. Well, reclaim my time. I only have a few minutes, so excuse me. But it's not just CBO. I mean, right of center groups, left of center groups, nonpartisan groups. You're saying they're all wrong.
I am saying that the budget community typically relies on static thinking, static scoring, current law baselines, and so you don't get an accurate picture of the extent to which the reforms that are being made are going to have a dynamic impact with better programs, more health care. For instance, $50 billion.
Well, let me, before you get to the friends, I only have a couple minutes. So let me.
Again, where's the proof that they're going back to work? If they're going back to work, why is unemployment going up? Just a thought. And then Boyle also confronts him about the clip that we played that apparently the rumor is that there wasn't supposed to be, I guess, recording, or it wasn't supposed to get leaked out. But when Donald Trump said that we, the federal government, can't pay for daycare or Medicare or Medicaid, and that the states need to do it because we have to pay for wars that he campaigned on not starting, but now we can't pay for daycare because of that. So Boyle is going to ask Russell Vought, who's in charge of the budget, about that. Can we pay for it? And Russell Vought tries to deflect from the fact that the president even said it and tries to add context to it that the president didn't say, which is what you all do, is add context or try to translate for the president. That's what they were saying, Lynatti, is all the footage from that moment that it wasn't supposed to happen.
So let me actually transition to my next.
He never said that. He absolutely did. And if you would like, after I play this clip, I can find it for you.
Subject, because I think I'll only have time now for this.
Thank you, Tech Wiz. That's what it was. They posted it. The White House posted the videos from it, and then they pulled it. But the internet is forever.
The president recently said, I mean, he was talking about the record increase in gas prices thanks to him and his war of choice in Iran. But he diverted in a spontaneous, he's speaking extemporaneously in the White House just a few days ago. He said, and I quote, "The United States can't take care of daycare. That has to be up to a state." He then added, Medicaid, Medicare, all these individual things, they can do it on a state basis. You can't do it on federal. So I'm just curious from your perspective at ON.
Here, just for WI, we'll come back to Boyle in just a moment. You would love to hear it. Sure. Here you go.
Because the United States can't take care of daycare. That has to be up to a state. We can't take care of daycare. We're a big country. We have 50 states. We have all these other people. We're fighting wars. We can't take care of daycare. You got to let a state take care of daycare, and they should pay for it, too. They should pay. They have to raise their taxes, but they should pay for it. And we could lower our taxes a little bit to them to make up, but it's not possible for us to take care of daycare. Medicaid, Medicare, all these individual things, they can do it on a state basis. You can't do it on a federal. We have to take care of one thing, military protection. Because
feel better? We'll just leave that here for you. Okay, let's go back to Boyle now.
In a spontaneous, he's speaking extemporaneously in the White House just a few days ago. He said, and I quote, "The United States can't take care of daycare. That has to be up to a state." He then added, Medicaid, Medicare, all these individual things, they can do it on a state basis. You can't do it on federal. So I'm just curious from your perspective at OMB, have you taken any actions to turn Medicare back to the states?
No, and the president doesn't want to do that with regard to these
Well, he
important
said it.
federal programs.
I mean, he said it. So you're disagreeing with what the president said?
No, I'm saying that the president meant is he's talking about fraud in these programs.
Oh, Russell Vought's going to talk about what he meant. We just watched it. What did the president say? We're going to add context and add things the president never said. Well, let me just translate for him.
That's not, he didn't mention, excuse me, reclaim my time. Nowhere, I have the full statement in front of me.
Why? Because we pay federal taxes. You want states to raise the taxes to pay for it?
Nowhere in front of me is the word fraud presented. What he was talking about, he later at a different part said, we have to pay more for wars, and instead we can't afford Medicaid, Medicare, childcare, things like that. And looking at the budget proposal, this is why I raise it, $442 billion, correct me if I'm wrong, $442 billion increase in defense. That's what you're asking for, about a 42% increase, is that right?
Correct. For many paradigm shifting investments that we need this.
A 42% increase on
Paradigm shifting investments. What the fuck does that mean? Paradigm shifting What does that mean? Increasing the defense budget by 42% for paradigm shifting investment. What? Also, as somebody who does support our veterans and want them to get paid better, I understand the need for moving funds around or even increasing funds possibly. However, every conservative I've ever talked to talked about the fact that the DoD has not passed its last 8 audits. It's failed, and now they want an increase. And that you guys didn't like the military-industrial complex. What happened to that? What happened to that?
what was already a record high for defense. And look, I serve as part of our U.S. delegation to the NATO Parliament. I am no pacifist. I believe in a strong national defense. I believe the United States, I believe the world is at its best when the United States is the strongest military. The idea that we're going to pay for a 42% increase in this military, in this Department of Defense, and at the same time cut Medicaid, Medicare, not pay for childcare, all of these things that the American people need, in the case of Medicare, have paid into, that is a reflection of priorities that are out of whack.
It is. Americans can't afford to live. They can't afford to work and ensure that they have care for their child. I saw that Dan over in the YouTube chat said, you're a parent, you pay for your own daycare. That would be nice if we could. The problem is that working families are not making enough to pay for what it costs for daycare. Sure, I would love to pay for it on my own. Are you going to increase the minimum wage and shrink the wealth gap so that people can do that? I doubt it.
So for anyone saying pay for your own daycare, we had 2 children, right? 22 months apart. Mm-hmm. When we were looking into childcare, anywhere you would trust taking your children, it was $800 a week for the 22-month-old, $1,200 a week for the newborn. What job are you going to get that's paying you $2,000 plus? That's just your childcare payment.
Yeah, which is why I stopped working.
You're going to sign over your entire check to the childcare facility so you can go work? That fucking makes sense.
I guess so.
All right, goodbye.
Bye. That's why I stopped working. I was working. I owned my own cleaning business with a partner of mine. We were doing great. God, we were making at that time, would have been $1,000 a week. But yeah, am I going to pay my entire check for a stranger to watch my kids, or do I just watch my kids? When did daycare become the government's responsibility? Kids have cost. Okay, Jeffrey, then don't force people to have them. Okay, Jeffrey? Keep the government out of my fucking uterus. Jeffrey, I agree. You're right. Kids have cost. Then maybe the government shouldn't force me to have them. You cool with that, Jeffrey? I'm so sick of y'all and your double speak and your bullshit. You want to control women. You want us to be breeding cows, but then you will not do anything to help us raise these children so that they are not suffering and so they have a good life and become contributing members of society. You are not pro-life. You are not pro-America. You are not pro-family. Fuck off. Okay. So here we go. Speaking of not helping families, let's get to Representative McGarvey, who's going to talk to vote about the LEAP program. We call it the LEAP program. It's spelled like LIHEAP. It is help with cooling and heating of your house. You can apply for it. It's usually only during specific months, like the warmest months and the coldest months. It's not for the entire year that I've ever seen when we applied for it in the past. It's like the hottest months, they'll help you pay towards your Excel or your energy bill during the hottest and the coldest months if you apply. They are looking to zero that out completely. Not just reduce it, not just cut it, zero out the budget for LEAP.
And Donald Trump's economy. Just yesterday, your Department of Labor released its monthly price tracking report. Energy prices, according to your numbers, are up nearly 11% last month. Gas went up over 21%. Home energy went up over 30%. We've talked about some of these cuts. Right now, against this backdrop, there are 6 million Americans, including 150,000 Kentuckians, who rely on the low-income home energy assistance program to heat and cool their homes during the hottest and coldest months of the year. You admitted earlier to zeroing out that program, but you said it was because of fraud. Right? Do you believe that the 150,000 Kentuckians, the seniors who rely on this program to heat their homes in the winter, are all committing fraud?
I believe that there have been numerous government studies and nonprofit studies that have said this is a fraudulent.
I'm going to reclaim my time here because what you told me is you said just a second ago, I don't assume the American people engage in tax fraud, but I guess you assume every senior in Kentucky is engaging fraud because they want to have a cool home in the summer and a warm home in the winter. But it's not just energy prices that are
150,000 people in Kentucky. You're zeroing out the program. So all of them, every single person. Every single fucking person. You can't just put fraud on everything, claim it as true, and keep going. And even so, again, nobody would deny that there's fraud in systems. Of course. People will always try to game the system. People suck. Look at you. You voted for Trump. You suck. We know, because he declares eye contact while you do it on your knees. But even though people suck, I wouldn't take away the help that genuine people and the majority percentage, actually need. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't cut off my nose to spite my face. That's wild. But let's keep going to cuts here. This is Doggett, I believe, is his last name. And he's going to talk about another proposed cut to NIH. They've already cut from the NIH, which helps fund grants and programs for studies on medicine. I guess we just don't want, fuck Maha, we don't want to make people healthy again. And they're proposing another cut.
Under your direction, Mr. Vogt, at the National Institutes of Health, last year, grants for Alzheimer's and aging research were cut almost 50%. Mental health, 47%. New grants for cancer research, 23%. And as I read the budget that you're here presenting today, the Trump regime's response is that medical research has not yet been cut sufficiently. Doesn't your budget propose another 12% cut at the National Institutes of Health?
Most of what you said is untrue. NIH was not cut at all last year. We proposed a series of reforms to lower the cost. We continue, although not as much, to lower the cost this year.
Reclaiming my time, my question to you is, don't you propose to cut the National Institutes of Health by another 12%?
We propose to have a cut to the National Institute of Health.
Thank you, sir. Reclaiming my time.
That goes after specific programs.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Reclaiming my time.
Like the Minority Health Disparity Institute.
Reclaiming my time, Mr. Chairman. If the gentleman will please yield, he can filibuster when he's in the Senate. What we do know, as far as the truth, is that there were fewer grants for new cases last year at NIH than at any time in the last 30 years. Is it your feeling in proposing further cuts at NIH that there are just not enough worthwhile projects out there, or that we cannot afford to invest more in doing something about Alzheimer's, cancer, Parkinson's, HIV, other dread concerns?
There are many worthy health investments out there. I think post-COVID, for an institution that contributed to the pandemic itself with the funding of gain-of-function research, to give that institute $42 trillion, which is more than it got.
Just COVID conspiracy theories. Love that. We love that. Just slide that in there.
Under the COVID pandemic, the kinds of is very generous. The kinds of things that we're trying to do with the National Institute of Health, indirect cost rates. We don't think when Bill Gates gives 10% for parkings and administrative
reclaiming
costs
my time, Mr.
and
Chairman,
buildings, that should go.
Reclaiming my time.
I agree, actually. Russell Vogt. I think if Bill Gates, who is heavily invested, as we know, into the medical field, that if he is trying to claim payment back from NIH, from the government, for parking or building materials or things like that, I think that that should not be something that we pay for. I think we should be paying for research. We should be paying for researchers. I have no problem with that. The problem is that's not what we're seeing you cut. We are seeing you cut grants and programs for the studying, the thing that it is supposed to go to. But I would agree, if you have proof that Bill Gates and their company is charging NIH or the government with things that are not medical related, then yeah, I would have an issue with that. Prove it.
After giving last year fewer grants than at any time in the last 30 years, you are proposing further cuts there. And of course, the cuts are not only to medical research, but is it correct that in your budget you would cut the National Science Foundation, which has in the past provided grants that helped on artificial intelligence, on laser eye surgery, on MRI technology, among others, that you propose to cut it by 55%?
We have a sizable cut to National Science Foundation.
Over half of the funding.
But it will not impact our investments on artificial intelligence.
Well, that's good to know, because you may be the only person along.
I honestly, you're going to cut it by half if you add this additional 12%, and it's not going to affect your investment in AI. It shouldn't be going towards AI. Like, I know AI is going to be a part of our world regardless, but until we get some sort of regulation, I don't want to invest in it.
With President Trump, who believe that. A reading from the director of a consortium of research universities, he says your budget cuts are the equivalent of working in a company that feels like it's on the verge of bankruptcy. Another one says slow scientific progress threatening the nation's position in the world economy.
Not good answers from Russell Vogt. And the reasons why they're not good answers is because he doesn't want to actually tell you what's going on. And so he's going to do here with Becca Balint what he has done and what you all have done for the entirety of the time he's been president. I keep asking you, when does the expiration date on...
What about Biden?
Stop. When is the expiration date for that? Because Russell Vogt doesn't seem to know.
$7.6 billion in clean energy grants based on whether the recipient lived in a blue state. Yes or no?
I don't recall what that judge said, but we have not made the determinations based on whether the state is...
In fact, Mr. Vogt, on January 12th, 2026, U.S. Judge Amit Mehta said, quote, defendants, meaning you, Mr. Vogt, freely admit that they made grant determination decisions primarily, if not exclusively, based on whether the awardee resided in a state whose citizens voted for President Trump in 2024. Mr. Vogt, yes or no? Federal judges said OMB's freeze of $10 billion in child care and family assistance funding, quote, appeared designed to punish communities that the administration agreed with. Yes or no?
So what she's talking about is that what we have seen specifically in multiple departments, okay, not just Department of Education that has been split up. Again, it cannot be disbanded until Congress decides to do so in a legislative form. But the DOE, who has been spread thin, the FEMA under DHS, what we have seen from this administration is that they are picking and choosing who to give funding to, even though that funding is approved. So if you have funding approved for daycare, they are withholding it from blue states specifically, or states where a governor or a mayor or what have you has disagreed with them. They are playing political partisanship with people's ability to take care of their children. Or even worse, with FEMA, you are putting people's lives at risk, their ability to rebuild at risk, all because you don't like the governor in that state and it's blue. It's fucking childish. It's fucking ridiculous. It's silly. I don't know how you guys could support that. So she's asking him, yes or no, were you picking and choosing the states? Did Biden do that? No. No, Biden did not do that. Pick and choose which states to send that funding to. Also, you're not allowed to because Congress appropriates it.
Was that something that federal judges said?
Which, of course, he's going to answer, right?
About you and your leadership.
I think the judge's characterization is getting at the degree to which we are focused on states that we think are mismanaged.
Okay, that is not in fact the case. In fact, U.S. District Judge Trina Thompson found
Dan, you have a lot to say. Would you like to call in and have a conversation? I would actually love to have a conversation with you. Do you have information that I don't have? There is fraud. It's not all-time high fraud. Actually, the states we see that in, I believe Florida has the most fraud in the United States right now. What are you guys doing about that? You guys going after Ron DeSantis, DeSanctimonious, for the fraud going on in Florida or no? Because I guarantee you what you're talking about with Gavin Newsom in California, you know nothing about. I guarantee you with Tim Walz in Minnesota, you know nothing about. So go ahead and call in if you're not too much of a fucking coward, Dan. If you can find your balls. You can call the number 509-795-0412 and we can actually have a conversation about it. Okay?
the administration broke the law and froze funds as a politically motivated move disguised as fraud prevention. So your characterization actually is false. Other courts have said that withholding congressionally approved funding is, quote, vindictive and unlawful. Courts have found that freezing funds create, quote, irreparable harm against the American people. And the GAO, the Government Accountability Office, the watchdog agency that investigates how federal agencies spend taxpayer dollars, has reported that you broke the law multiple times. And they have said that you have refused to spend money that was dedicated for Americans. The Constitution gives Congress the power to spend money and not the president. Mr. Vote, your actions clearly show that you want to cut federal funds from anyone who didn't vote for Donald Trump.
And he's not allowed to do that. That's the point. Under the Constitution, the power of the purse is Congress. If Congress approves these funds, it is for all Americans. You do not get to unilaterally come in and decide which states you like and which states you don't like, which has been proven in court, as she showed multiple times, that they have been proven to be breaking the law.
Are you trying to get revenge on states that did not vote for your boss?
No, of course not. What's interesting about the question is that Joe Biden withheld.
Oh, for goodness sakes, can we please?
What about Biden?
What about Biden? I can't answer for the fact that we are breaking the law, missus. I can't answer for that. But what about Biden? Because I need my people and my president to be happy with me. And the only way he can is if I degrade Biden, who's not in office anymore. It's your job now. You own it.
Bring it back to my question. It was a yes or no question. Are you trying to get revenge against blue states because they did not support the president? Courts have said that, in fact, you did do that. That, in fact, you are being vindictive. In fact, you are punishing because of political persuasions. It's not members of Congress who suffer when you do an end run around Congress. That's not what I'm angry about. It's not about you taking the power from us. It's that it's their money. It's their power. Of the people, by the people, and for the people. The House is closest to the people. So when you do an end run around Congress, you're taking Americans' power.
Because that's who we vote for. We are a representative democracy. That is what we are, whether you like that or not. A republic, a constitutional republic, is a form of democracy. We do it by having representatives. W's, big W's to Trademark for the $15 on the Blue app. Wow, I don't even know, I don't know what even to say anymore. This is lunacy. Thank you so much for being here and helping to keep us sane. I appreciate you in this community so freaking much. I appreciate you, Trademark. I appreciate you being here. Honestly, you guys keep me sane. I am just an organized person and I have to do something with this or else I will sit in despair. And the only way I know how is with factual information. It's the only way I know how to function to make things make sense in my brain. So W's, Trademark for that. That brings us down to 55 for our goal, guys. And we are about 20 minutes out to the top of the hour. I see that over here on TikTok, we are at 36,000 likes. So we want to hit 50,000. We want to clear that bar when we hit the top of the hour. I would appreciate it so much if we could do that. So thank you. Make sure you are tapping that screen and sharing the live out. I think I have the little freestyles. If we could finish that out on the GIFs, that would be awesome. And over there on YouTube, remember, if you haven't hit the thumbs up over there, that helps as well. Push us on the algorithm. Maybe we can get some braver Trump supporters than the ones I currently have, because they don't seem very brave. And over there on Twitch, I do see you. There's 10 of you over there. Thank you so much for supporting me over on Twitch. I do appreciate it. So let's move on to some Russell vote with corporations and the taxes. So let's see. Yes. So this is Representative Jayapal talking to Vote about if he knows how many large companies did not pay income tax in 2025, which for some reason he doesn't know, but what am I lying about, Raina? What am I lying about?
Do you know, Mr. Vote, how many of the largest corporations in America paid absolutely nothing in federal income tax in 2025?
Not off the top of my head, but our view is that the tax policy.
Well, let me just tell you.
Oh, I've got you, Raina. Stingray, you guys keep doing this. It's been 3 days in a row now that you do this, which is that Dems' all-time low approval rating. You are right. The Democrats have a terrible approval rating. I'm actually really glad they have a terrible approval rating. It's the only way to push them to do better. And yet they are still wiping the floor with Republican ass in special elections. I've got you, Raina. I apologize. The Democrats have a super low approval rating and yet are still wiping the floor with Republican ass in regards to special elections. What does that tell you? The Democrats, who refuse to change their messaging, which I think is lazy, because the only thing that they have done for the last 10 years is say, at least we're not Trump, and that's not good enough for me. I want them to have a better message. I want them to actually campaign on something other than we are not Trump. And yet they're still kicking your ass. You lost 20% of your seats last year, Captain. How's Polymarket and Kalshi looking for the House? How's it looking for the Senate? Which we don't even usually have a chance to take back. It's tough. It's tough, isn't it?
Mr. Vote, reclaiming my time, let me just tell you the number of corporations, large corporations, that paid absolutely zero in federal tax was 88 at least that we know of, including Tesla, which paid zero on almost $5.7 billion of income, as well as Coinbase, Citigroup, CVS Health, and Palantir. Do you know, Mr. Vote, how many of the largest corporations in America paid absolutely nothing in federal income tax in 2025?
Oops, sorry. Didn't mean to play it again. 88. 88 large corporations didn't pay any form of income tax last year, including Tesla, Coinbase, Citigroup, CVS Health, and Palantir. Because all he did was continue tax cuts for the rich. And here is Senator Warren. Guys, remember, they're going to crash out. They have very specific bumper stickers for people. But trickle down. Trickle down. Yeah, it's going to trickle down, I'm sure, all over your back. This is on what they paid in taxes.
The rich are having a field day. Thanks to Donald Trump, corporations paid $65 billion less in taxes last year compared with 2024. Meta alone saved $3 billion. Amazon saved over $4 billion. And just for context, that $65 billion would have been enough money to extend the Obamacare tax credits 3 times over and still had money left over.
We could have paid for health care, but instead of doing that, we cut health care and allowed for billionaires and millionaires to keep their money because you guys simp for them. It's interesting. Get to you just 1 second. I'm just going to highlight that so I don't forget. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
Hello. Age, date?
Yeah, the state you voted in and who you voted for.
Oh, 27, Nebraska, and I do not vote.
At all?
No.
Okay. Why don't you vote?
I don't believe in the American Constitution or the laws, processes, and the way we do a two-house structure.
Are you a sovcit?
A what?
Are you a sovereign citizen?
A sovereign? No, I'm from Nebraska.
You don't believe in our Constitution. Why are you still here?
So I'm from Nebraska. So we have a house structure that's different than the rest of the nation. We have a unicameral structure. That's, as far as I know, we are one of the few. This is larger argument as to why I am not against what Trump is doing. Is I believe he's formally breaking the two-house structure that every other state uses, and Nebraska is the only state in the nation that has gotten rid of the two-house structure because we were not able to afford it.
How is he breaking it?
I mean, it's not working. I don't think it's working. I don't think it's been working for quite a long time since 9/11. I don't hear anyone who even
Sure.
has.
No, I would agree that Congress has not been good at doing their job over the last however many decades. What I'm saying is, and what it looks like is in Nebraska, it's just that it's not a break of a two-party system. You just don't have a House and a Senate. You have it's all one body. So again, I would ask you, how is he breaking what we do with Congress having a Senate and a House?
Well, I'm not saying he's breaking the two-party system, but what I'm saying is he's breaking the formal belief that there is a constitution and set of laws in America that are actually financially viable and responsible in a practical world. And I think that is very good, because I think it now is allowing the American people to just have totally rational complaints about things being done financially irresponsibly without instantly hitting this wave of religious piety or a bunch of stuff like that.
He literally is instituting religion, but like, how is he breaking the Constitution for finance?
I mean, he's just continuing to prove that the two-house structure is not working.
How?
And then, well, I mean, he's breaking the law. He's instituting wars under the
without
name,
their
under
approval.
the name
You
of,
mean?
Right, exactly. So, like, what I'm saying that it's good that he's doing all this destruction, because it's formally making it harder and harder and harder, even for the religious people, to continue supporting a two-house structure that has never actually been financially viable.
Okay. What would you like to see in its stead?
Well, what I would like to see would be the American people uniting simply over saying that the Constitution itself has to be financially tenable, whether that be at the state level or at the federal level or whatever it is.
I don't know why you keep saying Constitution. You mean how we have to pay federal taxes? And Congress...
Right. The Constitution dictates Congress, dictates there being a two-house structure.
Sure, that they hold the purse and they appropriate. Sure.
Right. And then they do it with two houses, and they do it with two houses in a way where they do not have to maintain contacts with a financial reality at all. Like the amount of debt that the U.S. Constitution has created is absolutely astronomical, and is I believe bad for absolutely everyone, and has already gone into affecting the retirements of all American citizens.
I mean, I would agree with you. I'm not a fan of capitalism in the way that it is. I think we need to have more accountability for our Congress people. I just don't know what you are looking for to replace it. Like the people uniting. Okay, are you looking for revolution?
No, it's very, very simple. I think actual parliamentary table at the top of the nation or of states or however it is done, where Congress itself, whether it continues to be a two-house system or not, actually has to be able to pay for its own constitution. Because right now, none of us, as far as I know, actually it's true, have actually been alive for Congress ever actually being able to pay for itself and what it does, which is very, very complicated. But the end premise, I believe, is just a moral virtue, no matter which dimension of politics you're coming from, is that if we can't be paying for what the Constitution and everyone else is doing, we can't afford it, and it harms the futures of everybody.
But how would we pay for things then? How? Because you said they pay. How? You would like to see them pay for themselves. How would they do that when the money that they spend is U.S. taxpayer dollars?
Right. Well, I mean, so that's what I'm saying. In Nebraska, we formally changed our constitution, our house, and our laws because we were unable to pay for things. Which is, this isn't a hopeful answer, and it's just so simple. I feel like people just don't have hope that's actually possible.
Well, no, but how does Nebraska pay for things?
Well, I mean, we continue to pay for things.
Okay, so you still pay taxes. So
Yes, yes.
what? So what do you mean?
Well, I mean, right now, everyone continues to pay taxes. Everyone continues to pay taxes to a parliamentary system that does not stay within the limits of those taxes. And now everyone continues to pay taxes for a parliamentary system that is not financially accountable to anything. And they still continue asking all citizens of America to be willing to lay down their lives formally while the debt itself is being leveraged as an actual means of continuing to make particular people in this society, the military-industrial complex, more and more money. And now at this point, as far as I can tell,
Sure, but that is why it is incumbent on you and on us to vote, especially even if you don't want to do it at an electoral level. I can actually understand that argument because of the electoral college. But it is vote for vote in the Senate. It is vote for vote in the House, and specifically local. If you're voting in your local elections, down to your school board, your city council, that is where you're going to get and promote candidates that are willing to ensure, because these are just regular people and they don't become who they become until they start getting corporate money. Ensure that you're not voting for somebody who wants to engage in corporate money, and that you get somebody whose interests align with your own, and that they are willing to put your tax money to work where it's supposed to go and not for lobbying.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but also the House of Congress, our formal laws have never worked for basic human justice or human rights in a practical sense. Even back
because
to
of the
Civil
people
War,
that you're that's because of the people that, well, not you, because you don't participate, the people you don't vote for. So you are allowing everybody else to pick for you. So you are picking people, they are picking people that are not protecting and upholding your rights.
Right, but they've already formally said that they are not going to because there is no financial accountability.
When did they say that?
Built into the current process of the system.
No, the accountability is voting them out. The accountability is primarying them and getting them out if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Right, but they haven't been, and they haven't been for decades, for long before I was born. And so for me as a citizen, it feels much more practical to not be a part of that never-ending loop of continuing to believe that my vote is actually a real form of representation.
You wouldn't know because you don't engage in it. You wouldn't know to be able to see the change because you don't effectuate any change. You just sit back and complain about it.
Well, I'm formally saying that we can just come in and say that these things at the federal level have to be held to an actual financial and fiscal reality first as a principle.
How do you do that? That's what I keep asking you. How do you do that? How do you hold them to that responsibility?
Right. Well, I mean, in practical terms, the best form of human organization I've ever heard of are the Robertson's Rules of Parliamentary Order and Procedure, which are the business standards for how Wall Street and private industries operate themselves, because that's the entire system of even how public organizations can organize themselves to actually protest formally a constitution and a government that has literally begun trading the lives of human citizens just for cash openly and in plain sight. I firmly just don't believe that there is any actual representational terminal point that can be done in a practical way at the federal level until you continue pressing on people that the Constitution itself has to be financially attached, which is another reason why I think the damage Trump is doing is a net positive, because there are so many religious people who hold to the Constitution as if it's their holy text, and yet it cannot be financially made practical, and it hasn't been for over a century.
is just ask him so context, and hopefully he doesn't interrupt, but how is Nebraska, okay, holding
Did I
themselves
lose you?
financially
No, you're still here.
accountable to
1 second. I've got a friend giving me a question to ask you. I apologize.
Oh, okay.
how is Nebraska holding themselves financially accountable to their own constitution when they burn through a $1.7 billion surplus in less than a year and a half, and they are now $500 million in a deficit, which means that they've burned through $2.3 billion. 2.2 billion.
So I'm not going to remember all those numbers, but what I do remember is that Nebraska has a 500, is it million or billion, Adi?
Million. So
million,
they burned
so $500 million deficit right now. So how are they holding to their constitution? You want it to be a system similar to Nebraska. How is that working?
Right. Well, I mean, then this is a continuation of why I don't vote, because I do not think the constitutions of the West have formally worked at pretty much any practical level that we actually need them to continue working at.
So I just looked up Robert's rules of order. How would this work on a federal level? Because you have only one more motion can be on the floor for discussion at a time. Like, how would that work? Our Congress would grind to a halt. Nothing would get done.
Right. I mean, I'm saying back from the perspective of, I don't think the two-party system has worked. I don't think it is working. I don't even think.
But two-party is not two-house. I think you're conflating the two things.
Right.
Monica, he's
But
just
that
restarting his
when people are
computer
saying voting,
every 5
it's
seconds.
wrapped up into, this is what they have, this is what's on the table, these are their options, these are the options that they've been given, and yet fewer and fewer people are continuing to believe that that system is actually capable of continuing to represent them as organizations, because the Republican Party and the Democratic Party are still formal organizations run by American citizens, but they continue not serving the interests of the American people.
Yes,
And
but
then
you're
I'm
not
thinking,
doing anything about that. You're just complaining. You are not finding a candidate who thinks the way that you think and want to see it be better and actually promoting them, working on their campaign, trying to get them financed from a grassroots effort to get them put on any kind of ballot. You're not doing that. You're just complaining.
I mean, this is why I'm saying I think what Trump is doing is a positive. And
It's not
then
because unless it gets you engaged, it's not doing anything. What do you think the people are? So you're saying that he is waking people up basically to the fact that it doesn't work. Again, what does that mean for getting it changed?
Right. So I'm saying that, and then I'm also saying I believe in terms of the taxes I pay, no matter what they do and are used for formally, should not continue going towards a system that is permanently on a downward incline into deficit. That is just like, that continues.
What do you want people to do?
Literally formally start pressing and demanding people that things actually have to be paid for.
We do that. We do that. They don't care. So you're not changing the system, you're just complaining. I'm glad we got back to what I just said.
Yeah, I mean, that would be fair, but that's the only thing I hear people doing when they talk about politics most of the time is complaining about either the Republican Party or the Democratic Party.
Yeah, and then I advise people to actually go out and vote, actually volunteer in their community. I actually do a midterm Monday specifically where we go over all of the special elections that are happening within the year.
Right. But
you guys
again,
can pay
it's
for him
not
to go
even
away.
working.
A
And
swan
by
or 10.
continuing to be a part of that system, there is literally no end in sight for when things will actually be paid for. And the tables have turned, so now it's the point where all of my brothers, all of my brothers who go and serve the United States government and are killed for their time, formally still are being killed into a deficit to continue making both the Democratic and Republican parties money.
I'm aware of that. You're not trying to change it. You're just crying and saying, throwing your hands in the air as an American, and you have no power in this system. You gave them your power, and now you're crying about it.
No, because it takes away my power to say there is a system that actually is capable
Then
of
leave.
representing
Go
me.
find a system that works better for you. I don't like to say that, but then leave. If you're unwilling to try to change the system you live in, then leave the country. Go find one that works for you.
Are you a Democrat?
No, I am a registered independent. I am farther
You're
left than the
registered-
Democrats are.
You're a registered independent,
Yes.
and so you do not think that me protesting my brothers being murdered for cash by the United States
Are you doing
government
that?
is a
Are you
viable
protesting
form of
that?
peace. This is a peaceful protest, and if I vote, I lose my voice.
No, you lost your voice by not doing it.
Hasta luego. I can't.
You gave up your voice.
Back. Just literally never call back. I said the wrong one.
We did send the wrong one, but thank you for the corgis. My God.
No, you said it was the gift gallery, so I just relit up it. So you actually got more because that was 3 corgis, which is 300. That was 9.
Ay, ay, ay. W's to Ari, please. Oh my God, did you guys all start going at the same time? I can't.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Hi, friend. How are you?
Good. Just letting you know I gave your channel a shout out to another channel, so I hope you get more subscribers.
Oh, thank you. I do appreciate that.
So the channel's Pep Talks. Just look them up. They're the same or similar to you, but I just thought, well, fuck, what the hell.
Well, thank you.
So-
I appreciate that.
You have a good day. Keep kicking ass. Bye-bye.
Bye. It's our Minnesota friend. Thank you to Rhett for the $10 on the PayPal for listening to that guy was like beating my head against a wall. Me motherfucking too, Rhett. And also thank you for the $20 from Chicky for Nebraska is not real. I'm starting to think it's not. I don't think it's real.
Wasn't Nebraska like almost bankrupt last year or something like that?
That's what Audie was saying, is that they're in like a $500 million deficit. They've burned through like, what was it, over $2 billion? Like they're just running deficit.
I was partly listening.
We're just waiting for Nebraska to officially go bankrupt so we can annex them and they'll just be northern Colorado.
That would be a big ass state.
Did we ever find out about Homie's situation with HR?
Yeah, he said he got the first write-up that he's ever had in his life. But that he says
That
it was
is
worth
hilarious.
it and he's fine and he's just going to be more careful at work. But
Imagine glazing taint being in your fucking
write-up at work. I love
Your
that's some
employee
badass
file.
shit. That is some badass shit. Good for you.
Children are
That
gonna
is
be like, how
great.
did you ever get in trouble, Dad? I told someone to glaze Trump's tank. What?
I must have missed that day. It was
Yeah, no, he got called back and told me he
I
got
think
a
that was
write-up, but
W caller.
hmm
It's all the only paper in his fucking employee file.
Lakin, the guy who just called, I actually saved his number, so I remember now. I call him my Minnesota friend. He did vote for Trump, but he can't stand what the fuck is going on, and he calls in a lot for support. And he was saying that because I use the term glaze Trump's taint all the time, that he let it slip at work, and he got a write-up for it. But you know what? That's a badass thing to get a write-up for, so I'll take it.
Lanati, it would get laminated and framed. I'd get it tattooed on my lower back.
Not a tramp stamp.
He's getting cut. Benita, are you okay? Despite his character being ripped apart, he is achieving more than any other president since Lincoln. Are you okay?
He hasn't achieved that final achievement of Lincoln's, though.
I know I didn't get to
Go away.
I know I didn't get to the knee pad section of the Trump store,
Not yet.
but they weren't in the St. Patrick's section.
Anyway, this is Representative Bonnie Watson, who is going to be addressing vote. We're back to Russell Vote on asking about the dismantling of USAID, because what we know is that people died because of the cuts to USAID. So thank you for that. Very pro-life of you. We had mothers and children die because of the cuts to USAID. And he's going to say it's not that big of a deal. He does go to the theater.
What would you say right now to the mothers of the kids who died because of your dismantling of U.S. aid? Harvard study says there are more than 100,000 of them. Can you give me a quick response to what you would say to those mothers? Just don't talk to me about the study. Talk to me about what you would say to the mothers of the children who've died.
Congresswoman, with great respect, I would just contest that the extent to which institutions that benefit from federal largesse put out.
Real quick, though, I do need to address this. Donald, you said that the Democrats, that's how you spelled it, started the KKK. Idiots. We know! We're aware. Do you know about the ideology switch? I know that colloquially they call it the party switch. I don't like that term. But if you look at the ideology switch, because what you're actually talking about is not the Democrats, you're talking about the Dixiecrats, is the Southern Dixiecrat Party specifically that started that. And why? Because the Republicans at the time were progressive and they actually wanted to give rights to the marginalized community, to the enslaved people that were brought here. Right? The Republicans wanted to do that because they were progressive. That's wild, babe. And the Dixiecrats said, nah. Actually, I need to find it. Didn't we watch that together, babe? I can't remember. It was a PBS special. We should probably watch that on Monday, actually. Going over the party switch, the ideology switch, and it will show you a map of the United States and its voting. And you can see where even though it was registered Democrats or Dixiecrats at the time who were voting, they were voting for conservative policy, keeping Black people enslaved. Once it switched and the name switched, the voting stayed the same. So even though now it's a majority of Republican registered voters in the South, it was still voting for conservative policy. It did not. Will you find it for me? Thank you. We can watch that on Monday. That it switched. Okay. Now, that is not to say that the progressives are not also racist and have racist ideology and hired people as the help, even though they were freer, right? Never. I would never say that. There are racists on both sides. What I'm saying is stop using that tired ass, old ass fucking excuse when you know nothing about the history of the ideology switch in this nation. You know nothing about it. Doug Dimmadome, home of the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
Others of the kids who died because of your dismantling of U.S. aid. Harvard study says there are more than 100,000 of them. Can you give me a quick response to what you would say?
By the way, Donald's response just now was blah, 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 because you're not smart enough to take in that information. I know it's tough, sweetheart. It's okay.
To those mothers, just don't talk to me about the study. Talk to me about what you would say to the mothers of the children who've died.
Congresswoman, with great respect, I would just contest that the extent to which institutions that benefit from federal largesse put out studies that say that the world has ended, that the world has not in fact ended.
Well, it's going
we
there.
only cut
If you're not going to answer the
USAID
question,
spending last year to the tune of about $8 billion. There was far more that we could have done, Congresswoman.
What would you say?
$8 billion. You don't think that effectuated people who are getting medicine in other countries? Children, women, you helped kill them. That's just the fact of the situation. It's just the truth. We're going to move on to Tim Kaine. We'll do the one on Tim Kaine eviscerates him in 2 different instances. It's fucking brilliant. It's fucking Senator. He cracks me up. I love when he does when he puts his glasses like on the top of his head. He looks insane. He does it, like,
on his forehead.
Yeah, he looks insane, but he eats them up every single time. But before we do that, I want to do big W's again to Valid Orchid. Thank you so much. 2 donations in one day for the $15 on PayPal to help soothe the pain of these calls. Thank you so much. That one, I have not had a call, Valid Orchid. I have not had a call
in like weeks.
It's been like a couple weeks that I've actually had somebody call. And that's what we got.
See, you get the more refined people who debate.
Was that refined? Are we going to call that refined?
At least it was better than what I've gotten the last few days.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It's a mess. I don't know.
The pain, make it stop.
Oh, I still have that one.
The pain, make it stop.
So here is Tim Kaine eating up Russell vote on tariffs and how they didn't work. Weren't working, not effectual.
To fund DHS without a month shutdown.
Second question, I was interested in the revenues in the budget that you sent over. One revenue in particular interested me was tariffs. what you're assuming for tariffs. You can see that the numbers on tariffs were sort of bumping around at less than $100 billion a year, $100 billion in 2022, $195 billion in 2025 when the tariffs started to kick in IEEPA. Tariffs have been determined to be illegal by the Supreme Court, the IEEPA tariffs. Next week, you're starting to refund $166 billion of tariffs. So I was interested to see what your tariff projection was going to be. And actually, what I see is far from going down as you're refunding illegal tariffs, you're predicting dramatic increases in tariffs. What is President Trump going to tax next?
Senator, what you're looking at is we had 10-year assumptions for the IEEPA tariffs, and those should be shaded a different way. Obviously, the Supreme Court changed our strategy on that, and we are going through a process to replace those, but we do not believe that the tariffs will be less than under IEEPA.
So if you're going through the process, tariffs are a tax. I'd like to introduce, Mr. Chair, two documents from the New York Federal Reserve. 90% of the cost of the tariffs last year fell on American consumers and businesses, and another from the Tax Foundation. The average in 2025 was $1,000 per American tax household, if I could introduce them.
Objection.
So you're going through.
Who pays for a tariff? MAGA? While you answer that, I'll answer Aqua. Welcome in. I'm glad you just found us here. You're curious about what I think of Andy Bashir. I think Andy Bashir is great. I think he needs more name recognition in way of being a candidate in 2028. I could see him running to start gaining that name recognition, but I think he's fucking great. I don't know that I necessarily want him to leave Kentucky because of that. But again, also name recognition, but he is fucking great. We're not going to really know. Like, we know some of the big names that are talking, but we're not going to really know until after the midterms. That's when people will start announcing, really, to see which candidates on both sides we're going to start seeing is probably right after the midterms. Mark says we pay for all taxes. Yep. You buy American, you don't have to pay tariffs. Okay. Can people afford to do that? He might be term limited. It might be time. But again, we paid a majority of the tariffs.
Process to decide what are you going to tax next? Who are you going to tax next to reach these astronomical tariff numbers?
We don't think they're a tax on the American people. They have not raised prices.
90% of the cost is falling on Americans.
Also, that X, you are correct. American goods are made of tariffed materials because raw materials we don't have in-house. So, no, actually, American product would not be cheaper. We've talked about this before. If you have products that are tariffed, one, like X said, you would need the raw materials, which you're probably still getting from overseas, which would then be tariffed. So you're going to have to increase your profit margin because of that. But even if you're not, let's say you are using materials that you got from America, corporations are greedy. Wouldn't you agree? Corporations are greedy. And so what happens is you would have a price of a product from another country that's up here because it's being tariffed. And then you have America's. And it's just right here. It's cheaper, but not by much. Why? Because as long as they're keeping it below the tariffed rate, it's still cheaper. But it's still unaffordable because American families are not making more in their check. We don't have a raise of minimum wage. The wealth gap keeps increasing. It's still unaffordable.
Foundation paper that doesn't support tariffs.
But who are you going to impose the tariffs on next?
Look, tariffs are imposed on the foreign importers, right? We've seen that they don't impact.
Is that who the tariffs are on? Foreign importers?
Industry sectors are you going to hobble? Do you know
It's
yet?
not hobbling. It's ensuring that we have American manufacturing.
So I'm assuming you don't know. You don't yet know who the next tariffs are going to hit. You're just projecting all this money is coming out of American
Our agreements with countries, Senator, have been out there ever since Liberation Day.
Liberation Day. Yeah, that's the one that you did right before tax day that took $1,000 out of American families' pockets. Let me go to the next one.
Okay. People are so stupid. All right. We are in the United States of America. Okay. Also, bro, no. You get 30 seconds for that. Anyways. So when we're saying foreign importers are paying the tariff, that would mean the people that are importing American goods into their country. That
wouldn't make any sense.
That is asinine.
That would be their tariff on us.
Correct. That's not how that works. Oh my God.
Not smart. And this one I have saved. We'll get back to the numbers in a minute, but this one I have saved just because it's good old family fun in way of y'all with the Department of War in the Gulf of America. Unless Congress recognizes it and changes it, it is still the Department of Defense, and you can fucking cry harder. So Tim Kaine apparently needs to explain that and gentle parent it, maybe not so gently, to Russell Vogt. Okay? Okay. Guys, while we're here, keep tapping that screen, please. We are at 60. This screen says 67. This one says 66. So keep tapping that screen so we can get to 100,000 before I end today. That would be lovely. I have the little finger hearts. If we could get those accomplished over here on TikTok, also would be amazing. I doubt we'll get any more callers because Trump supporters are a bunch of little bitches. Okay. Keep going.
I've heard you go back and forth between talking about the investment in the Department of Defense or the Department of War. Now, just for everybody here, legally, the name of the...
But real quick, Bob says Vivek Ramaswamy would have been a great president. I want you to go go look up videos of how well he's doing in, is that Ohio he's running for? Go look.
Yes, it's Ohio. Sorry, I was trying to unmute.
No, you're fine. Go look at how your people are treating Vivek Ramaswamy.
Vivek doesn't even want most of y'all to vote.
Also that.
He thinks that you need a competency test in order to vote, and you can't vote under the age of 25, but you can join our military and shoot a gun and get yourself
probably
killed.
Wouldn't pass, so.
I know.
Yikes on bikes for that.
Here, legally, the name of this department is the Department of Defense, correct?
It's the Department of War.
And why do you say that?
Because that's what the president and his team has renamed it.
And
I don't care if he thinks he's Chiquita Banana. It's not what it is.
And there's a statute that calls it the Department of Defense. The president did an executive order saying the Department of War was a secondary title in September of 2025. Have you been instructed to use the phrase the Department of War?
No, there's an executive order that goes through a
You're
legal
just
process.
voluntarily complying with this whimsical cosplay. Let me
You
ask you
object to the
this.
word?
Let me ask you this.
The name?
Are you aware of legislation that's been passed by Congress to change the name?
No, I'm just curious as to the extent to which I didn't realize this would be a debate, Senator.
Well, I'm not debating you. I'm asking you a question.
It's a hostile world out there.
Are you aware?
The president did an executive order.
Are you aware of any bill to change the legal name of the department?
Not to my knowledge, but it's probably
Goob. That part. And they don't understand pronouns. That part. That part.
Eli, when she posts this in her Discord, can you please just get me him saying just whimsical? What did he say?
Let's see, because it's part of the thing. You're just voluntarily complying with this whimsical cosplay.
I just want whimsical cosplay. I just want those two words. I don't know when I'm going to use it, but
I just save sounds. I might need them. I don't know.
Yeah, like I might need it. So can you get me that, please? Also, thank you.
Also, we love you, Eli. Thank you. Don't know if you heard me use your "What about Biden" earlier. I put it on my stream deck with his confused face when he was at the debate. Like,
probably something we would consider.
Well, I'm saying there's an NDA process right now. If folks want to change it, I would look forward to that debate because I think you'll get laughed out of the room and you'll become a punchline on TV. Nations all around the world have secretaries and ministers of defense. Do you know of any that has a secretary and minister of war?
Our founders thought it was a pretty good name when
after World War II,
categorized
President
it as
Truman
Department of
changed
War.
it back. Are you aware of any nation in the world that calls this function war rather than defense?
I did not realize that this was a source of
I will tell you that there's no other nation. Do you know in the oath that our military officers take is the word war mentioned?
I'm not aware.
Defense is mentioned, war is not mentioned. Finally, you've sacked 350,000 people. Do you know what percentage are veterans?
Senator, we have ensured that all of the veteran preferences are stuck to.
30% of the federal workforce is veterans. So when you fire 350,000 people, I think you have fired more veterans than any administration in the history of the United States. I yield back.
Whoop. The military is for defense, Jerry. Because we weren't supposed to be starting wars.
Yeah, it's to defend ourselves from outside territories. Like, why do you think? Did we hop right into World War II? No, we waited until we were attacked. That's defense. Oh, I get it, Jerry. My bad.
Right, not war. Gotcha. W's to you. Senator Merkley is now going to ask Russell Vogt, again, as a reminder. There's so many clips from this. It'll probably just be my whole day is finishing this. Russell Vogt is the OMB director, the Office of Management and Budget. He is in charge of the budget, of overseeing the money. He doesn't get to appropriate it as much as they think they do, but they get to oversee it. He should know the answer to this question. And it's really devastating, and it should scare the fuck out of you that he doesn't, or that he's lying about it because he doesn't want a sound clip to get out there of exactly how much it's costing.
Would I be in the ballpark to say we've already spent at least $50 billion?
I wouldn't want to.
He's asking about how much we spent in the war in Iran.
Already spent at least $50 billion?
I wouldn't want to make a characterization of that at this point.
Okay. I would say, as the most knowledgeable person in the executive branch on the budget, I would expect you to have pretty good numbers on that. So I'm a little disappointed in that answer. Would I be in the ballpark?
Why doesn't he know? Or why is he refusing to answer? It's called bureaucracy? Yeah, but except that they particularly ran on ending bureaucracy. That's what they ran on. And then why didn't he didn't know that number or refused to say. Why didn't he bring up this number?
I noted that you did not include deficit numbers in your budget, even though those are required by law. Why not?
It's a discretionary budget. One of the things that I believe is important is to not confuse the country when we're in the middle of several reconciliation efforts over the next year. This is making sure that you can start the appropriations process. We did a mid-session review in which we will comply with the law at the mid-session point about how we are doing. It's also, one of the things when...
Where's the deficit? Where's the number for the deficit? Oh, guys, Daniel Pack is back over on YouTube. Guys, don't forget that it applies to TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch.
Do you want someone muted from the chat? Maybe they're spamming, annoying, displaying bot behavior, or maybe they're just a dumb bitch. Well, you can mute them for as little as $5 a day, $20 a week, or $50 a month. Pay links are in the bio.
So you can get rid of them if you don't want to deal with them anymore. So thank you so much, MBW, for that, for the swan. I appreciate you. How much to mute the president?
Wait, am I being swan?
I don't think so. No, they're just contributing to the mutes for Daniel Pack over there. Jay Barron, you said keep voting. After all, voting for the lesser evil is still voting for evil. I would agree with you. What is your solution? What's your solution, Jay Barron?
You do
I'll take that answer. Thank you.
When you take a full budget.
And I disagree with the notion that it's discretionary to follow the law. The law did require deficit numbers. They can be extracted if one sits down and does the numbers from your revenue and spending projections, and that includes a deficit of about $2.2 trillion in 2027. I think perhaps the reason you didn't want to include deficit numbers is you didn't want to draw attention to we are in a situation where we are not in a major recession. And you're not including in this the cost of the war, so that's not a factor. And yet we're continuing to drive this nation deeper and deeper into debt.
but you don't want to talk about the debt. User, I am mad about that. I am absolutely mad about the fact that the government has a slush fund dedicated specifically to pay off women, and anyone really, but majority statistically it's women, sexual misconduct. Yeah, that exists. Similarly to the Catholic Church, who had the same thing. I agree. It doesn't send them a message, Jay Barron. Refusing to vote doesn't send them a message. You would have to have enough people not voting, and you don't. We can't even, as a leftist, we can't even organize together to do a general strike because capitalism has their foot so far down our throat that people can't survive missing work. So we can't even organize a general strike. How are you going to get enough people? I hear don't pay income tax. How are you going to get enough people to do that? You're just going to end up with a handful of people going to jail. How are you going to get enough people to stop voting to be able to actually effectuate change? How are you going to do that? I understand where you're coming from. As a leftist, I can agree with you. You will never vote your way out of oppression, but it is a tool they are trying to take away from you, which means that it works. Okay? So the IRS CEO, Bisignano, was also there. And this is Senator Warren talking to him specifically about the slashing healthcare, because that's what they did with the big, beautiful bill. They slashed healthcare and then used that money to try to cover the tax cuts that they gave to corporations. And she's going to ask the IRS CEO about that.
Understand how any of those are really good outcomes.
Here's the really good outcomes. We committed to single-digit wait times on the phones. We're not having people sit.
The data from
the data from the Inspector General report, the data from the Inspector General says,
Mr. Bisignano,
take the developed level of access, increased 45%.
Mr. Bisignano,
there you go.
That same report, I have now seen it, says wait times on the phone doubled for people asking
IVR
questions.
usage and chat bots all exceeded.
You is where are those really good outcomes that you bragged about? And I take it they're not there.
No.
Just let's understand.
How about 90% of people
from the IRS, the rich are having a field day. Thanks to Donald Trump, corporations paid $65 billion less in taxes last year compared with 2024. Meta alone saved $3 billion. Amazon saved over $4 billion. And just for context, that $65 billion would have been enough money to extend the Obamacare tax credits 3 times over and still had money left over, saving health care for millions of Americans. So, Mr. Bisignano, I just want to understand how slashing health care for families so that Meta gets a $3 billion tax cut is a really good outcome for the American public.
Well, a really good outcome for the American public is getting their checks, their direct deposits within 21 days. What you're talking about isn't part of what the IRS is working on.
So
I don't know if that's, I don't want to be mean. I don't know if that's just the way he talks. He looks drunk and he sounds drunk. I don't know. I would have to find other clips of him. He might just talk like that.
So you think
deport who, Glenn? Who are you yelling about deporting?
It is a good outcome that Meta gets to save $3 billion, Amazon gets $4 billion, and to pay for it, millions of Americans lose their health care? That's your view as the CEO of the IRS?
I don't see the two of them correlated, ma'am.
Well, they're correlated in terms of those tax cuts were paid for by pushing people off their health care. Did you not follow that?
Those tax cuts, 30 million seniors, your seniors.
About $3 billion for Meta, so that paid for by people being pushed off their health care. And you're the one who said really good outcome.
It is a really good outcome for the American public here. The tax, what was enacted in the Working Family Tax Act.
We'll get into that. He just called it that again. I talked to you about that yesterday. They are trying to rebrand the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. They're trying to rebrand it. We'll get into that in a minute.
Of the Trump administration, loud and clear.
I pressed the wrong button. So, why are they trying to rebrand it? Could it be because it's not popular? Here is Representative Joe Neguse on the floor. I have what he was previously talking about. The Congress was away on vacation for 2 weeks. They just got back, and the first thing that they decided to do is write a clap on the back bill. We did so good last year. But again, they're trying to rename the motherfucking bill, and Neguse from Colorado is going to address that.
There's no Republican in the House of Representatives who's willing to come down to the floor to extol the virtues of the big beautiful bill, or the Working Families bill that they've renamed? None, Madam Speaker? All right.
That is the original name on the bill.
Where? Where was that ever the original name? Because before it passed, we talked about it over and over and over. When it was proposed legislation, you just go to congress.gov and you type in the bill. Where was that ever its original name?
What was that?
The gentleman is recognized.
Well, thank you, Madam Speaker. Just to clarify, I just want to clarify something that the Speaker said. That is not the name of the bill. Just to be clear, I encourage anybody who's watching, go online, pull up the bill. It's about, I think, 350 pages. The one phrase that you will not find in the entirety of the bill is working families tax cuts, Madam Speaker. It's nowhere. I checked yesterday during the Rules Committee. I checked again before I came to the floor just to be sure. So
why don't we check together? Let's go. H.R. 1, because that's the number of the bill. H.R. 1, 119
I hope he runs
Congress.
for president at one point in time. I think he's great.
An act to provide for reconciliation pursuant to Title II of H. Con. Res. 14. That's not the one I wanted. That's an old one. Where's this one? Yeah, no. That one. Oh, no, it is that one. I don't know why it's coming up like that. Let's go to the here, because it's easier. PDF version. Okay, this one is 1,018 pages. Let's see. Let's go to Control F. Working families over elites. That's all we've got on there. 1. Let's say 2. The number of persons working. 3. Working families over elites. Where's working families tax cut? Where is that? Why are they trying to rebrand it to make it sound better for working families when that's not what it is? And it's not in there, as we just looked.
I don't
bring the goose back.
know where you came up with that name, or Madam Speaker. I'm not even really sure who's come up with it in the Republican conference. Somebody, a marketing guru in the Republican conference, I think, convinced the Speaker. And I suppose said to him, look, this bill is deeply unpopular. President Trump is deeply unpopular.
I don't know, bad views. I'm not a Democrat. You'd have to ask one.
Popular than any president in the modern history of our country. We got to do something different. And I've got an idea. We'll just come up with a new name for the bill. New name, resolution honoring that new name, that'll convince them. I'm sure that will get the American public on our side. Fascinating. There's no...
because it's not popular. And we knew it wasn't. It wasn't popular before they passed it, which is why they had to pass it on a tiebreaker. Did you know that? Couldn't even get your own majority in the Senate to vote for him. Bad views, I don't know why you're talking about Gavin Newsom, because we don't know who's going to be running in 2028. I love how you're looking to the future. You disingenuous prick. Okay, let's get back to it. So Senator Wyden's going to talk to IRS CEO Bisignano on Trump illegally sharing tax info while at the same time complaining that his tax info was leaked illegally. Now, I have said this before and I will say it again. I do not think it was okay for his tax info to be released. It should not have been released at all. That was private information. Yes, he was not sharing it. We were asking him to share his tax information. He should have shared it. He didn't. That does not mean that somebody should criminally leak it. I don't think that's okay. But if you're going to cry about that, and then in turn share other people's tax information, I don't want to hear the hypocrisy.
Now, Trump IRS illegally shares the sensitive tax information that I've just been asking about, but at the same time, he's suing the IRS for $10 billion over his returns being released during his first term. And that was under the watch of his own Treasury Secretary and IRS Commissioner. So yes or no, have you been involved in any discussion of the lawsuit or a possible settlement?
Nope.
Are you going to recommend that the U.S. taxpayer pay him? So that's something that's within the province of your duties. What are you going to recommend? Are you going to recommend that U.S. taxpayers pay him?
Actually, this is not in the IRS.
Well, tell me what your opinion is.
It's at DOJ.
Should U.S. taxpayers pay Donald?
It is at the DOJ. He is suing the United States government for the illegal leak and seeking a settlement from that. Now, what Wyden asked specifically is, will you recommend a settlement be done? Because that would hold weight within the courts if the IRS CEO comes out and recommends that they settle with him for his information being leaked. And that's what he asked. He didn't answer.
Donald Trump on this matter? That's a yes or no question.
I'm not involved in the matter.
What's your opinion?
I'm not rendering opinions on things I'm not involved in.
What advice did you get from your ethics office on this?
Advice from my ethics office and from this being what?
This is a conflict of interest.
Is this man self-aware? Did he get the update? I don't think he got the update. Thank you, Donnie, for knocking out a majority of that. I appreciate you.
Interest on the part of the president, one of the most flagrant conflicts of interest I've seen in all my time in public service. Did your ethics office give you an opinion? Or maybe they gave you one and you didn't read it?
No, the opinion is that it's in the DOJ, not in the IRS.
No, but give me your opinion. Your opinion counts because you have an important position. You're ostensibly somebody who's supposed to be doing stuff.
Like, you don't have an opinion at all? Why does it do that? Get off the screen. When I ask you to get off the screen. Hi, Chewy. So there was that. And which goes into the fact that we got this reporting. Democrats seek to bar presidents from collecting settlement money from the government. Democratic lawmakers will introduce a bill on Wednesday to ban the president, vice president, and their families from collecting lawsuit settlements payments from the government. The bill, what did I do with that? Did I click the right? Sure. I don't care. We'll do that. The bill, dubbed the Ban Presidential Plunder of Taxpayer Funds Act, comes after President Donald Trump sued the IRS and Treasury Department for $10 billion over the leak of his tax records and those of his sons and his company. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for? Hi, can I get your age, state, and who you voted for? Caller, are you there? No? Yes? Maybe? Okay. You're You're just there, but you're not like doing anything. Let me turn that off so that you can actually see those when they. Glad that was a good talk. Good talk. My gosh. Nobody should have. Thank you so much. Oh, is that? Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Nicholas, for the $10 on the Blue app. Keep doing all the good things. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you. We just knocked out the goal. Thank you, guys. So very much. Oh, that's not an amount. That one is. I hate when people call and don't. Yeah, they weren't mouth breathing. That's true. Okay, let's go back to this. The bill dubbed the ban... Oh, no, I didn't do that. His company to news outlets. Trump said he would donate any money he received to charity, but the lawsuit enraged critics who argued that any money he might receive from a settlement would come from taxpayers, because it would be us paying that settlement. Months earlier, Trump acknowledged he was seeking damages from the Justice Department, saying, "I guess they owe me a lot of money." Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer of New York, Representative Jamie Raskin of Maryland, and Representative David Min of California are introducing the bill in their respective chambers. Would you guys agree with that, to ensure that no president can sue the government while sitting in office? Would you guys agree with that? Or are you going to glaze Trump's taint some more? Which one? No, but I'm not going to say it now. I thought it was you, but then I didn't want to do that and be wrong. Okay. Like 15 minutes left. What I want to to. I don't even know. Let's do Besant. We'll go to the economy and go to Besant.
Hey, sandwich!
Hey, sandwich!
Guys, beware, they mute intelligent men on this live. Well, good thing you're not any one of those. The intelligent part. Goodbye!
Bye, sandwich.
Are you tired of seeing Ruben, aka Sandwich, in the chat? Are you tired of seeing his completely idiotic takes? Or maybe you want to contribute to his degradation kink. But remember, we don't kink shame, but it's totally fair to kink ask why.
Bye,
Or
sandwich.
maybe you just want him to shut the fuck up. Well, you can keep him muted for as little as $2 a day, $7 a week, or $25 a month. From now until whenever we fucking feel like.
So there's that. All right, so the Scott Bessent, the Secretary of the Treasury, went and did a press conference with Kelly Loeffler, who I believe is his deputy secretary, and Caroline Leavitt, who's starting to look the pregnant that she is, so that's fun. And talking about the fact, he's being asked about seeing $3 gas. And when do we plan to see that? Because remember, Donald Trump promised to get gas and said that it was under $2. And yet here we are in a war he started, where now the average for gas was, what, $4.05, I think, this morning when Olive looked at it. Really great, guys. Doing well. So are we going to see $3 at the least, even though he said $2? Let's see about that.
Secretary Bessent, it doesn't sound like we're going to have $3 a gallon gas by summertime, which we had initially been told by the Energy Secretary. He now says that it would be very aggressive if we're going to get to the $3 a gallon gas by the summer. So when are we really going to get $3 a gallon gas?
Well, I think that's going to be the up to how the negotiations go. President Trump said this morning that he thinks we're nearing the end. The U.S. kept their side on the ceasefire. We've stopped firing. The Straits of Hormuz have not been completely reopened, so we will see. And I'm optimistic that during the summer we will see gas with a 3 in front of it sooner rather than later.
Secretary
which is not an answer to the question.
We will see gas with a 3 in front. What the fuck does that mean?
When, because that's what he asked.
Flight breaking news: Judge who halted the White House ballroom construction allows national security work to proceed at site.
That's right, but that was already allowed in the previous order, so I don't know why they're doing a story out of that.
Don't shoot the messenger.
No. You're fine. I was just trying to understand it.
I try to be little news.
What they were blocking was the construction of anything cosmetic while the case goes through. But it had said, because Trump had even said that, is in the order, anything that is deemed, and they have to prove it, but anything that is deemed like for security, for the safety of him and the people within the White House, they were allowed to continue construction on.
But every 2 weeks?
But every 2 weeks. So here they tried to ask Bessent, what would you tell private shipping companies about going through the strait since it's blocked? What would you talk to them about?
What do you tell private shipping companies out there right now nervous about this whole thing, saying, wondering if they should even get near the strait?
What's that?
What do you tell to encourage shipping companies to do business through the strait?
Well, I think we're going to have to wait and see when they are permanently open, because this is a mechanism.
And what do you tell private shipping companies?
So again, no answer. We need to wait and see until it's permanently open. But Donald Trump wanted them to take the chance to get through. That's what we had heard before, is like, just do it. Be brave. Just go through. Which doesn't make any sense.
It's crazy that through his court filings for the ballroom, we have now learned that the bunker was underneath the East Wing. That the bunker no longer exists.
It's actually not helping security by doing this.
Yeah. And that you're planning on putting the bunker back underneath the ballroom. Like, way to tell everyone, bud.
So stupid.
Okay, goodbye.
Okay. So then here we've got... I'm just showing this one because this is your guys' new phrase. It's not even make America great anymore. It's just this it's going to open naturally. Whatever that means. You need a little foreplay for that. By the way, I don't think I gave you guys your flowers for this. Thank you guys so much for hitting 100,000 likes over here on TikTok. I appreciate you. We're at 107,000 actually. So you guys fucking rocked that out of the park you guys did it, I think 10 minutes ago. So thank you guys so much for that.
Now get on your knees.
And call me daddy.
Secretary, you were quoted as saying in an interview earlier this week that it was worth a bit of economic pain for international security. Is that this administration's message to American voters with high gas prices that ahead of the midterms this year that it's worth the economic pain?
Well, the message is the short-term volatility for long-term gain.
Oh, like tariffs that were found unconstitutional? You guys can't just use this for everything. Chicky. You can't just say short-term pain, long-term gain for everything. But it's fine because Bessent has advice for you. I don't know that I would take this advice. But for those of you who filed taxes and know what your withholding is, this is Bessent's advice to you so you can make more.
Encourage everyone out there watching today to change their withholding if they haven't already done so, because if you change your withholding, then you will get an automatic real wage increase on a weekly or a monthly basis, and you will be able to keep more of your money this calendar year.
And then what happens next year if you change your withholding to the point that your check is more? What happens at tax time next year, Bessent? Then you'll owe. Yeah, it's going to look fucking great in your check. It's going to look great. And he's saying he encourages. Don't forget, he said at the very beginning of that clip, I encourage people to change their withholding. You will see an immediate bump up in your check. Yeah, you will, because then you're just going to have to pay more. Yeah, they actively are just openly saying you're fucking stupid. They're dumb. They'll just do it. And some dumb motherfucker is. Somebody who doesn't understand their withholding is going to do that. And they're going to be like, look, I'm making so much more. And then they're going to be shocked next year when their taxes are due. It's wild. Also, they just want you to work more. So here's that. Not only change your withholding, but also work more. Don't spend time with your family. Don't take vacation and, have vacation. Don't do that.
Trump has threatened holding their executives and force them to lower prices. Can you provide any update on the administration's efforts there?
Okay, so I'll take the second one last because that's not my area. I don't wear a lot of hats.
Right, BOFA, exactly. That's the thing with withholding, right? Like you can change it and have your check increase, but the reason we say you owe more in taxes because you're going to owe that money anyway. So, no, BOFA is absolutely correct. You're paying that amount regardless. You can either pay it over the course of the year out of your check and make less at the meantime and actually maybe get more back at the end of the year, or you can change your withholding, get more back now and pay later. But again, they want you to work more.
And their executives and force them to lower prices. Can you provide any update on the administration's efforts there?
Okay, so I'll take the second one last because that's not my area. I don't wear a lot of hats here, but I am sure that the president makes his views known with corporate executives, and if that is true, then they will be held before him. And with overtime, as Kelly and I go out and talk to employers and workers around the country, they all want more overtime. And there was this narrative that I think over 2 million illegal aliens have either voluntarily deported or been deported, and that there would be a worker shortage. Well, what better way to fill that gap than with overtime for hardworking Americans and for them to keep more of it?
Yeah. Don't worry about the worker shortage that we're now admitting exists because we're deporting legal immigrants, not just illegal immigrants. But don't worry about that. Just work more. And if you remember, Dr. Oz also has come out. I don't have that clip. I wish I did. Also came out, Dr. Oz, and said that old people should just work longer. So don't retire. So work overtime, change your withholding so you owe more, and work longer. Great advice. Making America great again. Putting the American people first. That's great. I love that. Here is Kelly Loeffler with Bartiromo, and she's going to lie about inflation being steady, and thus interest rates should be cut. He also said, well, to be fair, Mike, he said that Trump said that diet soda kills cancer cells because it kills grass. And now they're trying to tout that as Donald Trump joking. I don't know.
Are there areas that you are hearing from small business that they still need help with? Because when I speak with the oil companies, many of them mention permitting, that permitting is still an issue. The president did executive orders on this, but do we need to see Congress codify some of that?
Well, certainly I know the deregulatory actions that this administration has taken is unprecedented, cutting about 120 regulations for every new regulation. We've worked certainly very closely with EPA.
That's not good. That's bad. We're just destroying our environment, destroying our system by deregulating for every new regulation.
EPA deregulating, whether it's DEF or right to repair, so many things that crush small businesses. But the thing that we hear is...
Bob... Sorry, guys, it's completely off topic of the economy, but I see that Justin is trying to explain to Bob very gently how Donald Trump was convicted of 34 felonies. Let's see, what did Justin say specifically? Trump was literally booked at Fulton County, Georgia, something that's commonly known as arrest. He said yes, but he eventually was adjudicated. Do you know what adjudicated means, Bob? And the 34 felonies were not in Georgia. That's on me. Those were in New York. The Georgia case is stalled and yet to go through. But do you know what adjudicated means, Bob? I think you're using the wrong word, Bob. Fake charges by Democrats. Oh, sweetie. Glaze the taint, honey. Glaze it harder. 34 counts. 34 felony counts. Okay?
Interest rates. Small businesses would like interest rates to get down. I know the president's working very hard on that. We've got pretty stable inflation here now, core inflation 2.6. There's no reason interest rates.
Joe Jack. Joe Jack, when did they change that law? Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
My age is 33. Trump.
And what state did you vote in?
New York.
Okay. Why are you still supporting Trump?
He's a good president.
How so?
Stock market is doing good. Well, I'll go based off my finances. The stock market.
Your finances are in the stock market?
Yes.
And it's
The
doing
stock market under Trump was always doing good. I was
it's been good under, to be fair, every president has seen the highest that the stock market has ever hit, most recently with Trump and the 50,000 that we talk about with the Dow, but it has been a roller coaster of a stock market. So unless you're a volatility trader, it wouldn't be that great.
Well, no, there's tactics how to do the stock market, but I've been doing a lot more better. And if your followers are if your followers are the people that are listening,
Sure,
that's very good.
That's great for you. How is that doing for the American people, though?
Well, a lot of my peers and my coworkers.
No, that's
are doing
anecdotal.
good.
I
They have
mean, offer
families.
it statistically for the American people. How were your taxes? Did you file your taxes this year?
Yes,
How were they under Donald Trump?
they're good.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot more.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm getting a
How were
lot
your
more
taxes? How were your taxes under the Joe Biden administration?
A lower. I got lower in return.
Oh, what was Joe Biden's tax plan?
I don't know what it was, but I know
It was Donald
lower. I
Trump.
don't know
So,
the
yeah,
details.
I know you don't know. Donald Trump and the Congress passed the TCJA, which was his 10-year tax plan that he passed in 2017. It took effect in 2018. It was set to expire in December of 2025. So there was no tax plan under the Joe Biden administration. If you got less under Joe Biden, it was because of Trump. Congratulations.
Why? How was it because of Trump? Because
It was
Biden
his
was there
tax
for 4
plan.
years. He could have changed it.
No, he could not have. It is
Why not?
because the only thing that they can do is Congress can add amendments or repeal things from the actual act that was passed, which they did not do. And it was not a democratically held Congress, House and Senate. So they did not. So what you're talking about by getting lower would have been under the TCJA, Donald Trump's tax plan. So again, I ask you, what is he doing that is beneficial for statistically a majority of America?
Well, we get a lot more jobs. I know that. There's a lot
Where?
of jobs everywhere
Where?
in my area.
No, statistically across the nation. I don't care about your anecdotal story. I don't know you from Adam. You could just be lying to me. So show me statistically
I'm not
where there
lying.
are more jobs. Why is unemployment gone up?
Because people don't want to get online. People have to. There's a lot of remote jobs out there. People have to look. A lot of people are lazy right now.
No,
Because
but if
under
there were more
Biden and under
jobs,
Obama,
if there were more
everybody-
jobs, we would not be seeing the unemployment going up.
You know why, right? Because people are people under Biden and Obama, they're getting used of getting these government checks. A lot of people love the welfare.
Do you know
a lot
what
of people get EBT.
You're 33. So
There's
yeah,
a-
you're
there's-
old
there-
enough.
there's a- there's
You're
a
old
lot-
enough.
there's a
What's
lot
a
of things
stimulus
that
check?
they were
What's a
doing, a lot of
stimulus check?
fraud.
What's a stimulus check?
Stimulus check is an extra. Well, Trump is the one that gave out the stimulus check. That's the extra.
How many?
When you do your taxes, you get a check.
No, it wasn't from
or,
taxes.
Or unless you didn't work for a certain amount of time, they'll give you a stimulus check.
No.
Or it depends. Or it depends how much money you made for the year. It could be any of those
You
things.
guys are unwell. How many? No. What you're talking about would be an income tax check, which you would get if you filed your
no,
taxes.
I'm talking. When you do your
Stimulus.
taxes, you got a stimulus check. Yeah.
No.
Under COVID, we
yes.
got a stimulus
No.
check.
Yes. A stimulus check went out to all filers. That's how they tracked people. How many checks did he give out? But that's not what a stimulus is.
probably gave out, from what I remember, probably like 2 or 3.
It was 2. Joe Biden gave out 1. Donald Trump gave out 2. What is a stimulus check for? Since we're talking about government handouts.
Just an example, like under COVID, there was a stimulus check.
You're right.
I know
Why?
that was one. Yeah.
Why?
Because a lot of people didn't work in that certain time,
that's not
that
why.
period of time.
No.
What was it then?
Sure. So what it is a stimulus check to stimulate the economy. Our economy only functions if you have money being spent, and people weren't spending because they could not afford to spend because of the price gouging, because of the supply chain issues during COVID. So Donald Trump, through Congress, appropriated funding for 2 different stimulus checks to give out to people. So yes, people got government handouts even under the Trump administration. Do you have an issue with that?
No, everybody was happy. Even you were happy. Everybody was happy.
Yeah, I actually was happy because between those 2 stimmies and the one that I got from Biden, we were able to buy a home. Yes, but that is a government handout, as you were just complaining about Obama and Biden handouts.
No, but
so what's the difference?
You're happy that Trump did that. At least give
Trump
him that.
Didn't, no, Congress did that.
Give him a little praise on that.
Congress did that, not Trump.
Okay, but it was under Trump, right?
That wasn't from him. Congress appropriated that funding. He just signed it. That's all. I don't give him any credit for that.
If he didn't sign it, we wouldn't get it.
I wouldn't give Biden. If he didn't sign it, he would do what's called vetoing it. What happens after a president vetoes a bill?
They will probably have to go to court, I would imagine, and they will have to debate it. And people will have to vote. People would have to vote.
I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. It goes back to Congress, where it then has to get 2/3 of the vote in Congress to override the president's veto.
Correct.
So I don't give him any credit for signing something that passed Congress. He would be a fucking asshole if he didn't listen to what Congress, who is our representatives, passed in the House and the Senate.
Oh, he helped us.
No, he didn't.
Still mad about it.
How did he help us?
With the stimulus. You bought a house.
No, Congress did that.
Give him a little praise.
No,
thank you.
Congress did that. He didn't do anything.
Come on.
And actually, it took longer. Shut up. It took longer for us to get the stimulus checks under Donald Trump because he delayed it so that he could actually add his fucking signature to the check. It took longer for us to get it because he needed to sign it with his Sharpie. That was Congress. I would not give Biden the credit for the 1 stimulus check we got because it was Congress that did that.
Trump influenced all of this stuff, the good things that you have in your life,
for that?
You're still mad.
No, he didn't do anything. He has not done anything for the American people. That's why I'm mad.
He hasn't done anything. Our stocks are doing good.
That does not help the average American.
It does help.
It doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Most working families,
they're hiring.
No, they're not. Show me where they're hiring. Give me a headline where they're hiring.
You could go to Indeed. There's a bunch of Zip.
Do you know what ghost jobs are? Do you know what ghost jobs are? Do you know what ghost jobs are?
Those are not ghost jobs.
How do you know?
Because I checked. I check every day.
You checked how?
What do you mean?
Did you apply for the job?
Do I apply? No. I look for them.
So how would you know that they're ghost jobs?
Yes, I do, and they get hired.
They list ghost jobs. Did you know that? So again, show me.
They're real jobs.
Nope. Show me. I would like to see. You can't prove that. I would like to see a headline.
I can prove it right now.
Sure, go ahead.
Hold on. Give me a second. I got you.
He's just gonna list jobs on Indeed.
Second, logging in.
I like my stimmies though.
Stimilies. He's just gonna list jobs on Indeed right now.
ZipRecruiter. There's one that I got.
I just told you, no. Find me a headline of a company who is actively advertising hiring, not ghost jobs on ZipRecruiter and Indeed.
Go to Walmart.
They're hiring right now. Nope.
Right now,
they're headline. Show me a headline that somewhere is hiring, because all I've seen is layoffs.
No. Walmart.
Yes.
Walmart careers are hiring.
Walmart. Hold on. May 22nd, 2025. Walmart to lay off roughly 1,500 employees from its corporate tech workforce.
What was
They're
that date?
firing. What?
Tell us the date.
May 22nd, 2025. I already did.
Okay. Well, it has to be a certain area, but they're hiring in the East Coast. I know that. I don't know where you're reading your stuff at.
They're not. The unemployment rate is
There's a
going
lot of people
up.
hiring.
They're
The
not.
thing is,
The
a lot of
unemployment
people
rate
are
is
lazy.
going up.
Because a lot of people are lazy. They don't want to work. They got used to the democratic way to get help from the government.
No.
That's the problem. People are lazy. People have to get up and go to
People
work.
are lazy.
Get out the house. Get out the apartment.
Why do you simp for rich people who don't give a fuck about you?
I don't simp for nobody.
You do.
You have to do for yourself. You have to do it for your own family. The same way you got your house.
They are being laid
people
off.
have to do it.
They are being laid off. That is why the unemployment rate is rising, is because people are being laid off.
And that's part of life. Unfortunately,
okay, so
nothing lasts forever.
We just got there. We just got there. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Donald Trump did not create jobs because it's a way of life that people get laid off. And we're having mass layoffs over the course of this last year. Congratulations. You did it. You did it. I'm so proud of you.
Listen.
No, thanks. I don't want to. Glad we got there. We always get there. We always get to the concession. Donald Trump created jobs. Well, there's been mass layoffs over the course of 2025 into 2026. Well, that's just the way of life. Good job. So proud of you for that. So you guys don't give a fuck about people. Yeah, they're lazy. That's what it is. I'm sure that that's what the fuck it is. It's people being lazy. Or maybe corporations are greedy and they want to keep their profit margins, and they're making way more profit than they ever have because thanks to tariffs, they have to raise their prices while at the same time getting rid of people. Interesting. Wild. Oh, you guys simp for these people. I do want to end with funny, though. I have a few funnies. First one is just, I don't even have to play the video because they're just talking about not knowing. Russell Vogt doesn't know how many families, the percentage of families who are living impoverished. But really, my goal was to show his suit. What is this?
He looks like he went to my grandmother's house and took the plastic off her couches.
Yeah, guys, I clapped because I was right in him conceding. He conceded. Donald Trump did not create jobs if we're having mass layoffs. Okay, glad we got there. Anyway, keep going so we can see
have
his...
four
Oops,
that you
suit
consider.
again. What is that? What is that suit? So there's one. And then we also got this a different color so I can find it later. Okay. Let's see. This one was Besant. Let's go back to Besant. And he called the Strait of Hormuz what?
President Trump said this morning that he thinks we're nearing the end. The U.S. kept their side on the ceasefire. We've stopped firing. The Straits of Hormuz have not been...
The Straits of Vermouth. Those dirty martini straits.
Hey, don't talk about my martinis like that.
He did it.
I don't care.
He said the Strait of Hormuz. Let's see. What somebody wanted me to look this up.
Is very clean. Thank you very much.
This was the most recent one we have is March's employment. Let's see. Since you want to see it, they said look up the most recent jobs report. Okay. Total non-farm payroll employment increased by 178,000 in March, and the unemployment rate changed little at 4.3%. Job gains occurred in healthcare and construction and transportation and warehousing. You have 7.2 million people unemployed currently. And let's see. Don't want that one. Labor force participation rate changed a little, so no, not lazy. Cool. The number of people employed part-time for economic reasons at 4.5 million changed little. What did we have? Where was the one year over year? Here it is. The number of long-term unemployed changed little at 1.8 million in March, but is up 322,000 over the year. I agree, Stingray, that 4.3 is low unemployment, but it is an increase from where he started. It was lower before he started, right? Trump jobs, what did we do last year? Because it was 188,000, I believe, was the number. Let's see if I can find the thing again. We went over it. Let's see, this was in April. Oh, so this was going over that one. Where's the one? He only made 188,000 jobs last year. Well, that would be why, because I typed it wrong. Thank you for calling the stream.
Hi.
Hi. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing good. I was waiting on the question of whether I'm a Trump supporter or not there.
Oh, well, I guess I will ask you. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
Well, I would assume Arkansas and Trump, but is it bad that he closed the Strait of Hummus?
It is bad, because I really do like to have hummus with pita chips.
Oh, I meant Hormuz. My bad. I mean, do you know the difference between a garbanzo bean and a chickpea?
They're the same thing.
No, I wouldn't pay to have a garbanzo bean on my face.
I can't stand you.
Anyways, everyone, like, share the repost. Let's do that Maha movement, people. We need to make America happy again. Share the post, repost, comment, like, subscribe, and, do all those good things.
Well, thank you.
Good for your health.
Yep, I appreciate you.
Can I get the cartography?
Yeah. Do you know the study of cartography by chance?
Yes, it's the study of all carts, containers, wagons that are mobile.
I can't stand you, RFK. I can't stand you. Why are you like this?
Not Lincoln going, Eli.
Eli? Okay, so he called it the Strait of Vermouth. Strait of Hummus. Whichever one we want to call it. And I'm going to do this one and show it quickly because I don't want to get in trouble for it. But it's just, for the women who know about the red pill incels. This one will make you feel good. But real quick, thank you to Joseph for the $5 super chat over there on YouTube. Hunter Biden wanting to fight the Trump boys. I saw that. Please, can we do that for the 250th? I would love to see that. Let's do that on the White House lawn. Have Hunter Biden fight Trump Jr. and Eric. That would be fucking great, and I would love to see it. So, if you know about the manosphere, you know about the shit bags, you know about the red pill, black pill motherfuckers. Women, I give to you, enjoy.
And put your life force into a sock? Yeah, you deserve to be publicly executed, yes. What are we talking about?
Boom, bitch! Fuck off, Sneeko!
I love that. I love that so much.
Yes, that will be in my outline for anybody who needs it. Just to, replay for reasons. You missed it! Okay, I'll play it again, but I'm going to mute it this time. Because Sneeko's a psychopath.
Do it again.
Do it again. Encore, encore. Yes, that's Sneeko, the Manosphere guy. Okay, hold on. Wait, because I want to hear the punch, though. I was just waiting for him to stop talking.
What are we talking about?
I think the best part of
hit
it all
so hard
is like we all know men who are in our spaces that would do the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm. It's not a random person, Joe Jack. Sneeko is a red pill shitbag towards women who also is anti-Semitic as fuck. You're very welcome, Lala. I'm glad I made your day. He did hit him. Did you not hear the thunk? And then he put him in a headlock. Aw, I upset them. It probably was. I don't give a fuck. As long as he gets whacked, I don't give a shit.
You need the "Are you not entertained?" sound clip.
They can cry all they want to. I don't give a fuck.
I've told you that chickpea joke before. I'm so. It's funny you still walked into it.
Sorry, we don't always listen to men. God.
Yeah, I just forget because I don't
You
listen to men.
want to hear my pickup line, Olive?
No, I'm good.
You sure?
100% positive.
Who are we rating?
Fine.
You could rate me.
Are you going live again? I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I think I might for a little bit. We'll see how I feel.
Okay, then we'll just rate you.
We buy.
Okay, this one's for trademark.
Oh God. Trademark wants to hear it.
Okay, so you say I'm jealous of your heart, and you're like,
Of course you're. No, hold on. You are in nom now. Nobody can hear you.
oh, okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Oh. I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, so you say, I'm jealous of your heart, and they're like, why? And you're like, because it's pumping inside you and I'm not.
Go away. All right, let's go through our thank yous before I lose my mind. I can't stand you. I cannot stand you. Something's wrong with him. Something's wrong with him. I'm using that on my wife later. So thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Layla. Let's go back here. Hold on, I gotta go through here. Just a second. Thank you, Chewy. Thank you, Chicky. Thank you, Trademark. And then I also have thank you, Rhett, and thank you, Valid Orchid. Thank you guys so much for your support today, that we knocked the fuck out of the goal. Again, proving to these people that I am just what they called me was a drifter. They got the wrong letter there, but that's okay. So thank you guys so much for that. I do appreciate the support. We will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, whatever time that is for you. I'm going to look into getting into the RFK testimony in front of Congress. We have that. What else did I have that we didn't get to today? Still have stuff. I have stuff on immigration, but I'm just kind of slowly building that up. And some Hegseth stuff, because he compared the media to the Pharisees today, which is an interesting way to blaspheme, and also half quoted the Bible, but half quoted Pulp Fiction. So that's a whole thing. So if you want to go find that, you can totally go find that on your own, but we're going to go over that tomorrow. So thank you guys so much for your support. We're going to go raid Olive. So over here on TikTok, we're going to go ahead and end, and we're going to go raid Olive. Again, I will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, whatever time that is for you. Spend time with friends and family, take breaks, do something nice for yourself. Don't stay plugged in all the time like us, because it's our job and we have to. But YouTube and Twitch, stick around. I'll send you over to Olive. So we will do that. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, do a Monty pump raid. She's going to have no clue what the fuck that means, Kayla. And I love that. So yeah, let's go do a Monty pump raid in Olive's over here on TikTok. So I'm going to end you guys over there. I will see you tomorrow. All right, so Twitch, let's set you up. I guess you guys can do a pump raid too if you want to. I guess. Pump Monty raid. So we're going to get you started. Getting ready to raid. Okay. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, that's done. Now you guys, I can get you to raid too. Hold on, I just have to look. Okay, and we're going to go raid Olive over here on YouTube. See you guys tomorrow. Bye!